Tonight's episode is different. My guest this time is an amazing person. She's one of the nicest people I've come across on Twitch. She's always so welcoming and fun to be around. Whether she's playing games with Hammer Pants on his streams or off streams with others, this time we're gonna dive into the moderation aspect of Twitch, where we'll talk about what happens behind the scenes and her point of view as a mod for Hammer Pants and many others, as well as what games she plays, what she's been up to, how she got on the platform, and more. I am more than happy to welcome Dev, aka PD_Devany, to tonight's episode of Twitch Tea Time.
Hi guys, thank you for having me, Blue, and you compliment me so well, you're making me blush. Stop it.
Oh, does that tickle your funny bone?
Oh, yes it does. Ba-doink, shing.
We don't have the sound effects that Hammer has.
Right, but I can make them. It's fine.
Yeah.
In this space, we will talk about everything from gaming to Twitch, as well as some mental health topics and more. So everybody listening, whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoy. If you're at home, sit back, grab a drink, relax, and enjoy yourself. First things first, before I start, tell me, how are you doing today?
I'm doing actually pretty well. Woke up. Hey, that's a plus. Was able to get out of bed, sleep in a little bit. And then hopped on a VC call with our other friend who's Blurry Almond. And played some 7 Ways to Die.
I actually just bought the game today and I'm about to download it so you guys can get your revenge on me for all the chaos I've caused during streams. So next time Hammer plays it, I'll be joining. And this way I will also get a taste of the chaos myself, on my end.
Oh, you're going to have so much fun. And yes, many revenges.
Oh, yeah.
Please tell us about how you discovered Twitch, how you met Hammer, how you became one of his mods, and how does it feel being a mod?
Well, to start out, I guess, I discovered Twitch after I was a hardcore watching people play video games on YouTube, and I ran into a gentleman. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was promoting his own Twitch on there, so I ended up downloading the app. And history as you know it, basically I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna say I was interested in a lot of the Twitch girls that are in the universe. They're all cute, they're all pretty, and they all like to do some really fun stuff. So I was there mostly doing that type of things, but I tend to be more of like a night owl person, and so one day I found on Instagram a reel about Grounded. And when I found that was an actual game that people played, I searched it up on Twitch and saw their suggested streamers. And given the fact that Hammer was once a very dedicated nighttime only late night streamer, he was on there, and I actually stumbled into his chat, and this was way back in the day where he basically, I think, had Raz and Ranger in there and Jojo Comrade or Fruit Pounder, if you guys know him.
Well, yeah.
And they were basically just shooting the shit, doing the normal shit that Hammer and his friends do on his chat, and just literally fell in love with the environment, with what he was doing, and then turned into a person that was always there, no matter what. If I saw his notification that he was there, in the middle of the night, you know me, I was just toking it up and just getting high as fuck. and then stumbling upon that and watching him, eventually it came down to it when he was already affiliate, but he needed somebody that was always around to monitor and help him with chat, because he was growing in a sense. And so he offered me a moderator position, which was at the time my first position, which was kind of scary.
Yeah.
I know when people say hey, you get all these god powers as a mod, I was like, are you sure you want me to have these god powers? I just basically troll you all the time on here. But it turned into a wonderful relationship and a friendship that I guess would never kind of have if we didn't have the internet and we didn't have Twitch, because he's located on, just like you, on a opposite side of the world for me.
I mean, yeah, but you're.
You're farther.
Yeah, you're in the same country, but like I know the U.S. is like really big. That's what
It's
she said.
huge. It's yes, exactly. She's huge.
Yeah.
I know sometimes mods troll the streamer, out of love, of course. But besides Hama, who else do you also mod for, and how does it differ to mod for each person? I mod for like over 20 channels myself, and every channel has a different way when it comes to moderating. Like some of them have a set of rules that we have to imply and abide by, and like the rules we imply on others are to keep the things in check. And I know very well that it's completely different for other channels, as I said. Like, for example, some have given me a sword and told me just keep it and do whatever you want, just come and go as you please. I don't have to worry about being or not being there all the time, if you know what I mean.
So for the most part, when I do get offered, like somebody's like, hey, I need a mod, I think you're a wonderful mod, I always start with, hey, what do you expect from me as a mod? And if I can fit into those guidelines, I feel like it's a good fit, I normally go right ahead. And since I was a mod for Hama for about a year, I actually started getting a lot more people asking me to be their mod, like Zombie Romeo, who is another moderator for Hama and hasn't been live in a while because of his situation, but I was one of his first mods as well. And you know him, he's very laid back, kind of the same situation. I get to either troll him or I get to be sweet dev that everybody loves and just be the hype girl and spread the love and welcome everybody into chat. That turned into me now modding for Blurry, Secular Lupus, Mr. Cooch, and GG, Gun Guy 505. I'm thinking, am I leaving anybody out? Oh, and Death Orb Gaming, who's not really on a lot, but he's one of my really good friends. I met him through Hama as well.
Yeah.
So it's just like a very big community that we all just like kind of came, we came to it, and then we're all now this big ham family, as Hama would say.
I assume the name PD_Devaney has something to do with your real name, right? But most importantly, the PD aspect. I'm guessing it stands for Paladin?
Paladin, it does. Okay. And I got that from playing with a group of friends. Actually, I'm really into playing some of these, like, I don't even know what to call them, but like Kings of Avalon is where that game is from, or that name is from. It's just an app that you download on your phone, and you get to play it either, every now and then, or if you were like me, I was on that game like 24/7, because I found people, again, a community I really loved, and people were super awesome, and then I kind of incorporated that into my nickname for all games, other than Bacon Hangers. That's my second name. Yeah, I'm gonna be real honest. I don't know if it's basic or just stupid, but I love using my real name.
Do you remember what was the first game you both played together on stream? You and Hama?
I know, like, maybe you've said it, but like, what was the first actual one as a mod?
Oh, okay. So for the longest time, I actually have never been into PC gaming, so I wasn't able to like play games with Hama, especially since also he would play games that were like cross-platform with Xbox. And I'm like a PlayStation user. I love Xbox, don't get me wrong. I love their games. Sometimes I had to make the choice which unit I was going to go for, and I'm a Final Fantasy fan. So I was like, I have to stay with the PS4. So for a while there, I wasn't actually playing games with him, but the first game that I played with Hama was actually Goose Goose Duck. So, and I just remember being like, this is my first time playing. My mic wasn't working, so I was like the hidden Bambino, the silent one. And like, that game, there was like 25 people on there, and I think it was Hama's first Halloween special. So it was just fucking epic, and everybody was going crazy. It was fun, super fun.
Out of all the games that you play, what's your favorite?
So I really enjoy playing Sunken Land. So anything craft survival has always been kind of my niche. Up until recently, I really, really thoroughly enjoy bringing it back to my original OG, How I Met Hama, playing Grounded with him. Which took me a while to be able to get my PC to be able to handle that, but we're there, I can play it, and I've been loving it ever since.
I don't know why when you said How I Met Hama, it kind of made me think about the sentence, How I Met Your Hama. It can be easily turned into a TV show, you know?
How I Met the Hama Pants. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Especially in this community, because like I said, everybody in this community, once you're in, you basically are there. You're one of us. And we don't really, stray once you're here.
Yeah. You're stuck with us.
Come on, Blue. You're here. You're part of the ham community too.
Okay, don't go all Celine Dion on me. You're here.
There's nothing I fear. That's right, Blue. That's right.
You do a variety of games, but what are 3 of your all-time favorites to play ever?
So, always, forever, it will be a tie between Final Fantasy X and 10-2. That's my go-to if I really had a shitty day and I needed a little laugh or a little pick-me-up. Kingdom Hearts is a really good one for me.
Oh, nice.
I've been playing through the Kingdom Hearts series myself lately, and I'm not a fan of the Final Fantasy game series.
Don't worry, it's either hit or miss.
I grew up with Kingdom Hearts.
I must say, I first played Kingdom Hearts 2, from the franchise. It was my first game that I ever played.
And my
that's
favorite...
a weird one to start with, too. Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, back in the day, I was shopping for PS2 games as a teenager, and this was the only Kingdom Hearts game they had in the shop. So what caught my attention and why I got it is seeing Donald, Goofy, and of course Mickey on the cover. That made me decide to buy it. And then after a while, I had finished it and I had beaten it. And a few years later, I decided to try and pick up Kingdom Hearts 1. But sadly, I haven't beaten it yet. But I shall someday. Then mom got me the complete collection for the PS4, like the remixed or remastered, if we can call them. And I pre-ordered, I remember the time when I pre-ordered Kingdom Hearts 3 back in 2019. It was the very first ever game that I pre-ordered.
And,
you're gonna love it.
Oh, I finished it already. It is also my favorite installment of the whole franchise. But I'm replaying it currently on stream because, as I said, it's my favorite installment of the franchise. So at the time of release, I remembered that I sat down in front of my TV, just waiting on it to unlock so I can finally play it. And I spent hours just sitting there staring at it, just waiting for it to download when it finally unlocked, of course.
I remember that too.
Yeah.
I remember those days. Oh.
I really love how they added the Pixar worlds this time into the game.
Oh,
Worlds.
right?
Yeah.
Right? I loved that too. And I loved just how in depth everything went. Because, playing 1, everything kind of, it looked like it, but it was slightly off,
It was
when
rushed.
they went into, yes. And when they went into 2, you were like, ooh, they're getting it, they're going. And then when I saw 3, I was like, oh, you transported me right into that movie. I love you guys.
Yeah, but it was insane that they took a 10-year gap between Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3. Well, that's fair given that games are getting bigger as the years go by and I cannot wait for Kingdom Hearts 4 to come out.
Can't wait. And I've looked up a lot. I mean, not recently, but back in the day when there's a bunch of fan fiction of what they think number 4 is gonna be and all that, and how they think that they're gonna incorporate different characters other than Sora and Kairi and Riku, like, you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people were hoping that it was going to be like a kid of one of the pair or whoever, you know what I mean? I'm hoping.
Yeah.
There's one world that I wanted to skip, but since I couldn't, I had to rush through it in Kingdom Hearts 3. I skipped the cutscenes and I sped things up. The Frozen Realm or world. Arendelle, I think? Was it called Arendelle? Whatever it was called. Anyways, so I really can't stand having them sing every 5 minutes. I mean, I just want to play my JRPG, man. I just want to play the game in peace, like, please. It honestly, like, just appalled me. Next time, it will also be rushed. Even if it's like on stream. That's if I decide to do that world on stream, which I highly doubt that I'll be doing it. I'm fed up that everywhere I go, I see Frozen here and Frozen there. It's like, oh my god, it's all up in your face, dude.
Exactly, because I'm the same way. If somebody's like, hey, this fucking show is so amazing and everybody's into it, I'm like, hold the phone. I don't know if I trust this just because everybody says they love it. I'm going to have to, like, think about it hardcore before I even watch it.
Yeah.
And trust me when I say that I understand what you mean about Frozen, because even though I'm a hardcore Disney Pixar fan, I still kind of hate fucking Frozen in my heart.
Oh yeah.
I have the sweet spot for Toy Story and Monsters Inc.
Of course, because that's what we grew up on. That's our generation. Hello.
And I don't know if you've heard about them announcing Toy Story 5 for 2027.
I did not.
They did announce
I'm
it.
excited.
I can't wait. I really cannot wait to see. And I'm very curious to know where the franchise is headed. I wish they had set it for like an earlier date than this.
Right, because they've already made. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
Frog in my throat. But they've already made so many major changes.
Hydrate. Just hydrate.
I know. Yeah, they just made so many major changes in how the characters were going, you know, and of course, toys are forever, right? And unfortunately, the age where you're a kid and your imagination's going wild, it's so small. But I do love the little hidden treasures. I don't know if you're a big Inside Out fan. I just recently went and saw the new Inside Out 2.
I haven't.
But there's that conspiracy kind of theory where they're thinking that the Riley, the main character of those two movies, is actually Andy's mom.
There are theories. I heard of that. Yeah.
So I always kind of think about it. She looks dead on just like her if she was a kid. You know what I mean? It makes sense. I love how they entangle everything.
Also, the Pixar worlds are kind of linked in a way or another. So you can find a lot of Easter eggs around in many of the movies that hint at some of their other movies as well. Like, for example, in Cars or other ones, you can see like a poster that links to Toy Story, for example. Or you can see the pizza place from Toy Story in Cars, or probably in another. I forgot which one. Anyways.
I believe you're right.
Have you ever considered streaming on Twitch?
I mean, I have, but it always comes down to whether or not my computer right now would handle it. I, again, have made major leaps in my way of being able to play games, but the laptop that I have right now probably would go mad crazy if I tried to stream while playing a game.
Yeah.
I test it out sometimes. If you guys know, Hamma does have a Discord, and sometimes we do community nights or like just people chilling in the community server.
Yep.
I do stream on there to like just show people or like even show my face sometimes, just to test how my computer handles it. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't do well, but eventually, you know, there's always the future. Hopefully soon I get my own PC.
Yeah, if you have a spare laptop, you can also try streaming from one to the other using a capture card. A lot of people do that, you know.
That's right, from
Yeah.
one and play on the other. I'm gonna have to figure that out.
Or just straight from your console.
I don't know if my PS4 would be able to handle that either. It's an old baby.
I mean, yeah, I had one.
I had a PS4 at some point that swore at me every time I just looked at it.
It's like,
Exactly, and I don't know if you're very. I'm weirdly electronic savvy in only certain ways. Like with my PS4, I took it apart, cleaned it, and then also replaced the disk driver in it because that went out of sorts and wouldn't allow me to play any games or anything like that.
oh wow, yeah.
So that's what I did, and it's my Frankenstein PS4 basically, and it still works. I'm happy about it, but it
Yeah.
would definitely curse me out just like yours would.
I mean, yeah, I was very lucky to have been gifted the PS5 by mom's family a couple of years ago. And I used to stream off of it. That's how I got my start, like my official start, because I tried on the PS4 and it didn't go so well. And funny enough, since we spoke about that, Kingdom Hearts 3 was like the first game I ever streamed. Well, not the first game ever, because I have recurring memories of me trying Pokemon trading card game, the online version of it, from my work, but I don't think I had sound or I spoke at the time. And I just tinkered around with The Sims. So let's just forget about these. Like officially is Kingdom Hearts 3 my very first game like that I streamed. So yeah, they gifted me the PS5 and I streamed off of it up until like August of 2023. I did have a PC back then, but I was still on DSL. So I didn't know that the company underneath my house, like underneath my building, had fiber. And they've had it since 2019. So I learned that like literally the same week that I installed it. Yeah, so ever since then I got a new desk, I got a new chair, I got an extra monitor, I got a capture card and a webcam. And I can tell you that I felt a little bit stressed at the time, just not to show my face, but like the outcome of it, like, okay, I'm gonna be streaming from home now, it's gonna be a thing. So that kind of started a little bit like making me kind of nervous, but mostly because like sudden change freaks me the hell out. And here I am today.
I do want to say that the console streaming, they made it pretty fucking simple and really super easy for people to be able to do that.
On PS5, yeah.
Yeah, on PS5 especially, so.
As a mod, what are the limits regarding streams? Like what would get someone banned? What would have their chat deleted? What's allowed, what isn't?
So in regards to just most of them are pretty similar. They pretty much allow anything that is not super derogatory or demoralizing or anything like that. Towards, everybody. But Hamma, you know how wild and crazy we get in his chat sometimes.
Yep.
Really, I like to say there is no limit, but there have been people in the past that like to push the limits. But basically, it's just be there, be as genuine as you possibly can be, and also just be the right age right now is the best thing, because we try to be an 18 plus inclusive, to others, but we still have to what is the word I'm looking for? I guess abide by the Twitch rules. You know what I mean?
How many hours per day or week in general do you spend on Twitch?
A lot is a good word to put it. Basically, most days from when I wake up, which is around like 9 or 10 a.m. my time, to about sometimes even 1 a.m. my time until I go to bed is when I'm on Twitch.
Yeah.
Don't judge me, guys. Don't
Basically,
judge me.
same for me, like all my waking hours, even at work, I'm on Twitch.
Yeah, even if I'm out and about doing errands, I'm literally using my phone and depleting the battery with trying to go in between who's online at that time.
I try my best not to use Twitch mobile, but sometimes it gets in my head, like it sucks that you can't be in several channels at once like on PC, even though now iPhone users have mod view added and I have an iPhone, so that's probably a privilege, I don't know, but it still sucks. And at the time of recording this, like initially the Twitch mobile app was still like sane and safe to use, like it didn't look as weird as it does today at the time of release of this episode, sadly. It looks like fucking TikTok. Why? Please no. Can we revert back in some way? And to those listening, if you haven't updated yet, do not update. Do not update.
Yep, that's always been my number one problem with mobile. And that for the longest time, again, that was how I was doing it with being a mod, because I didn't have a computer. I didn't have the ability to tab people. So I was literally jumping back and forth in between streams and being like, did I miss anything? No, okay, here we go. Boom, 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 boom.
Final question in the segment is,
to the new people out there who are just starting streaming or are thinking about it, or better yet, if they are mods themselves or just got that role, what's one advice you'd want to give them?
First thing first, always have fun, okay? It's not, yes, you're given this godly power, as we all say, mods are gods, but it's just a title. You are there to enjoy, so fun is ultimate priority. Second is always, for me, I always try to make sure that I, again, talk to that person and see specifically what they need from me. And if I can do that, that's what I'm going to be doing. So like with Hama, it's like shout outs and hype and welcoming anybody in chat. Got it? Boom, signed, sealed, delivered. So I do recommend to always have that communication with your streamer. Because again, it's their brand. It's everything to do with them. You don't want to kind of step on their toes. But in the most part, when you have this streamer mod relationship, it should be kind of symbiotic. One does one thing and then the others are protecting and watching his back, in a sense, you know what I mean? So it's not a big deal if anything does happen, but just know it's okay. Shit happens. And just move forward from that, and then you know what to do and what not to do in the future.
So this is segment 2. It's a lightning round or a pop quiz about you. So I'm going to ask you questions. You don't have to be very brief about it.
Okay.
Do you mind telling me and the listeners what's something you do every day as a routine?
So for the most part, my daily routine is definitely get up, get myself ready, and then help grandma with whatever her needs are at that moment. Because I don't know, I didn't say this earlier, but some of you don't know what I do is I do take care of my grandma. For the time being, she did have an accident, so her needs are kind of my number one priority. But for the most part, it's wake up, log on to Twitch, take care of grandma, and then smoke some weed.
That's the good life, honestly.
Yes, and then make sure I get all of my chores done so that my other housemates don't get mad at me.
What's one thing you tell yourself often?
That you are enough. Just the way you are. You don't need to change. You are, you have all these pressures as a person in society, right? You, for me, I always say you are enough. You know what I mean? You don't need to change. You don't need to do anything differently. Yes, you may fuck up. Yes, you may have some fumbles. Yes, you may have some faults, but you are enough. And a lot more people need to tell themselves that these days, because I feel like, that's a hard one for people.
I agree. This is one of my favorite questions to ask.
If you ever were to be any object or creature, real or fictional, what would you be and why?
Real or fictional? Okay, so if I had to go real, I would always want to be like a wolf. I've always, that's my spirit animal.
Nice.
Love them. If I had to do fictional though, that's even better, because one of my lifetime adrenaline junkie needs is always needing the feeling of flying or falling. So anything that flies would be really cool. So a hippogriff would be really cool, or a griffin. Those types of things. Go.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
I guess my biggest pet peeve is when people like to make assumptions about not just me, but about other people or about things. Don't assume. You don't know what that person or what that object has been through in its life, or you know what I mean? Just don't assume anything. Yeah. If you want to know, ask a question. I thrive on people being I'm just curious, blah, 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 why do you do this? Or, I love that. That's why when you asked me to do this podcast, I was like, yes, I kind of want to do it really bad. Guess I'll be there.
I appreciate that.
But we also have to keep in mind that traditions differ. The way people communicate is different in the US, for example, than in the UK or France, or even Australia. So what might come off as rude in the US can be considered a normal thing in Australia, for example.
100%, tenfold. I agree.
What's one thing you cannot live without?
Only one thing? I'm not gonna lie, I would probably wither away without marijuana. Mary Jane has been a really good friend. It helps me with my anxieties, my depressions, my things like that. It's a coping mechanism, yes, for sure, that I try not to abuse, but it is nice to always have that.
Yep.
It's a friendly friend.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what do you think is the worst invention ever?
Okay, so people are gonna judge me for this, but I have legit fears of AI taking over the world, but AI, in a sense, I feel like, yes, it's going to be making great strides for a lot of things, like vehicles driving themselves, and maybe people, doctors, especially in the medical industry, using that to help them perform surgery, to ligate risks and stuff like that. Yes, brilliant. But again, there's always those outliers in the world that use them for really nasty means, and I feel like that can be highly abused. So, I again, don't like to get too political or too nothing, but once you start incorporating military, unmanned AI, drones and stuff to be able to, kill or take out a target on their own behalf, not with a person guiding them, it's a little, gray area for me.
Yeah.
A little too Terminator.
We've seen depictions of it in Detroit Become Human, where AI is going to take over in the 2030s.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, this is a 3-part question. First part is, what's one of your all-time favorite songs, or a song you've been stuck on or keeping in a loop lately?
Okay, so recently I've stumbled in, and out of the blue, I should have listened more to my Spotify, but Chappell Rowan. she is blowing up over here, and her whole album that she has out right now, which is The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess, is actually a really good freaking album. And not to mention, I just love her personality wise. She's niche. She's a little raunchy, which, amen. If you know me, I'm a little raunchy. Raising my hand slowly.
Yeah.
Just her vocal prowess is just GOAT. I don't think I've heard anybody kind of incorporate the way that she did this album before, or in recent times at least, for me. So she's right now my number one top. If you haven't heard that album or heard anything from Chappell Roan, I suggest to go listen to her right away.
Oh, definitely, we'll keep it in mind. I will 100% give her a listen afterwards. I've heard of her, to be honest. You know my undying love for Kelly Clarkson, so Mom bought me something from her merch, a t-shirt, and I've been rocking it all day. I've also been listening to her music a lot more than usual as of recently. There's a specific album I've been also listening to, but I can't pronounce the name because it's in a foreign language.
You have a great choice. First off, Kelly Clarkson, a GOAT, if I've never ever heard one before in my whole entire life. I love her little skits that she does on her talk show with people, or like if they get her, drinking and, singing. Oh, fuck yes. Give me it all day, every day. Impersonate whoever the fuck you want at this point, Kelly. I love you.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Oh my God.
That's actually from one of her videos, like YouTube videos from the show, where she tries Girl Scout cookies, and she said it. I downloaded the video, I clipped the part, converted it to MP3, and now I use it a lot on Twitch, Discord, and almost everywhere.
Yeah, so that's a thing. I'm gonna have to join you more on stream to be able to see what you've got there, because I've only been in there a few times. Yes, sometimes just to lurk, but I need to figure out your little niches on your stream.
I'd be happy to have you. You know I love being around you, and my redeems are pop culture clips, like The Simpsons, Two Broke Girls, SpongeBob. There's a specific one I love. It's from an episode called Milhouse of Sand and Fog, where Bart tries to help his buddy Milhouse by getting his parents to divorce. So he puts Marge's bra on Milhouse's parents' bed, but it ends up retaliating against Bart's parents. So the clip features Homer with chickenpox on his face. Long story. You have to watch the episode if you want to know. But the clip features Homer in front of his house, holding Marge's bra as he cries.
This is Marge's bra. I bought it for her boobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. First off, I love the fact that you love The Simpsons. Amen.
More than anything.
And second, GOAT, another good one.
There's also the Aurora Borealis clip.
Aurora Borealis. At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
What's one of your all-time favorite movies?
All-time favorite movie that I literally put on if I'm having a bad day, and a lot of people also hate on me because it's also one of my favorite love movies, is Moulin Rouge. Okay, I know it has a sad ending, and it's not that, happy, joy that everybody wants at the end, but that's life, right? That's what we deal with. That's it's not normal, but that's reality for me. So I love that movie. And of course, like, me and my best friends we'll even just put it on if we're doing like a drink, like slumber party kind of thing, and we'll just be getting drunk and having that movie play in the background while we're reenacting the scene in somebody's living room. Such a great memory. I remember trying to be Zidler in the Like a Virgin, so I picked up a white sheet, and just started running around the living room, and then like my best friend, her name is Lauren, just started chasing me like the creepy Duke in that.
God.
It was just so funny, and favorite memory all time.
As long as it wasn't a sheet time.
No. Best friends, not that kind of best friends. I always tell her though, I was like, because a lot of people when we hang out, they're like, is that your girlfriend? And I'm like, no, that's my best friend, honey. We're like sisters. So I feel like we unintentionally cock block each other when we go out in public, because a lot of people just basically assume at that point.
Now, what's one of your all-time favorite TV shows or series? And by that, or by TV show, I mean like probably a talk show, a game show, etc. Because sometimes people confuse them.
Ooh, so I'm a little crime scene investigator girl. I ain't gonna lie. I love my, murder podcasts and stuff like that. I really do enjoy watching CSI. Las Vegas is my original favorite, but I do watch all the other branches. NCIS is a big one. And then there's a couple like I want to say it's like cold case files that like depicts past cold cases and how they were solved like 20 to 30 years later, which is mind-boggling in my own eyes. Like how does one go from being cold and then nobody knowing what the fuck happened to you, being like somebody opens this file 20 years later and they're like, oh, they did their job right, they have DNA samples, they have all of these things, which back in the day they didn't have those abilities to do it, but now they do. And so I love that.
I did write something similar, but it's super hard to get yourself out there. Here where I live, they reject you if you're not known or if you don't have something to show for it. So I wrote a season of a comedy crime series, but because of the reason I said, I didn't find the motivation to write, because they kept saying like, oh, sorry, we're not interested, you're not famous, you're not known. And I couldn't find like motivation, as I said, to write even further. So that's fine. They literally said, we cannot help you, you're not known.
Yeah. I understand that, and invalidating your feelings, but I do want you to, but not believe in yourself, because I know you believe in yourself, but I want you to just put yourself out there, because Blue, you are honestly an awesome individual, and I enjoy listening to your recent podcasts and some of your old ones when I was picking through. You're doing the work, okay? So don't be afraid to just put it out there and see, what happens. Yes, the negative Nancys are always going to be there, but you don't have to listen to those bitches. Fuck them.
Aww.
All you have to do is do what you want to do, Blue, because people are going to find you, and people are going to love that, and people are going to join you in that to celebrate.
I appreciate that. It's what I'm trying to do with this podcast. Like, get myself out there and create some content.
Also, you're making me blush, and all I can say is,
I think I'm gonna squirt.
I thought you were gonna say bus, but then I was like, oh, that's not the right one. I think I'm about to bus.
no, I think I'm gonna squirt.
I think I'm gonna squat. I like that one better.
And I got myself into a shithole now, lol. Since mom got me like a various kinds of Bean Boozled.
Oh no! And did you happen to get like the original kind, or did you get like the spicy ones too?
No.
My aunt didn't know what to pick, so she got me a few boxes of the normal ones. Like some are Halloween themed too as well. Those are a little bit rare to get.
There's lots of varieties.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
watched Cooch eat spicy beans, and those probably hurt more than the nasty beans, I feel like, in my own opinion.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people that I'm not for eat the spicy beans, and I'm like, oh God, why? Like, why put yourself in that position? And then I understood why as I tried it myself. So there's the Harry Potter ones, the Minion ones with Minion farts, Minion juice, etc.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm not against that. Which of these three things you would give up if you ever had to? Money, gaming, or love?
If I had to give it up, I would choose probably money, because money for me is just a number. I mean, you know what I mean? It's a monetary thing, and
Yeah.
yes, money makes the world go round, but right now, at least for me, I feel like the US dollar bill is shit. So I
Yeah.
care less. I'd rather, love is something that everybody should experience, regardless if you lose it or not, you know what I mean? And I have been there many a times in my life, but I do think that gaming would make me very sad if I gave that up.
What would you do with $1 million?
Probably give away most of it, to be honest. I'm a simple person. If I have a little bit of weed and a computer and air conditioning, I'm happy. If I have anything more than that, it's gone. You need this? Oh, here you go. You know what I mean?
I do that a lot myself, to an extent where I sometimes end up with little to no money from how much I spend on others. But it makes me happy, to be honest. Like seeing the fun behind it, like being able to use it, for example, to just jump scare others, or just react with blurbs or with sound alerts, probably stickers, a Tangia, or just seeing the joy on people's faces when I just cheer some bits or sub.
I don't care.
Exactly. And I don't recommend looking at my what I spend on people on Twitch alone. Oh my God, that would be a lot of money. But again, money is not going to run the world. You, yourself, and the things you love and the things you hold dear are what's going to be there.
What's one thing you spend a lot of money on besides games?
Man, food. I'm a food whore. You want me to be happy? Give me some food. I'm a basic girl, I will admit. God, I love Paris Hilton. You're making my teenage inside me like fly. That's hot.
Oh, I'm also a Pokemon nerd. There's a Pokemon called Paris, Paras. So I caught a few, but I named one Paris Hilton.
I love that.
If you had one special superpower, what would it be? And also, how would you use it?
I've always said if I had a superpower, it'd be like in the roots of like some sort of telekinesis brain power. Because then I could do a lot of things that I've always wanted to do. Again, like flying. If I had brain control, I could make myself fly. I don't need the flying superpower, right? And then on top of that, your mind's your biggest asset in life. So I feel like if my mind was limitless in that sense, like, oh my God, again, the world would be my oyster.
If your life was ever to be a video game, what would it be named and why?
I want to say it would be like a day in a life of Dev for some weird reason, and it would be some crazy ass shit, because I don't know about you, but sometimes crazy shit happens to me for no reason, and I'm just like, I'm here, I'm around for the ride, let's go. Like, what are we gonna do to make this either better or funnier or whatever? Like, we can make it happen. Plus, the people that I surround myself with are very interesting individuals in themselves. So, like, it would never be a dull moment, regardless if it was just about me. But I feel like if it was a sitcom that I wanted, it wouldn't be just about me. It'd be about everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody that I know.
Yeah.
What's something you always wanted to learn, but you couldn't find time for?
See, I've always wanted to learn how to fly a plane. And that's
Oh, interesting.
like a weird survivalist tact, because when I think about things like this, I'm always like, am I gonna need it in a zombie apocalypse? And I'm like, yes, you're gonna need that fucking air pilot's license to be able to get yourself and the people you love into safety at a drop of a hat. Plus, it would be fun. I mean, come on now. Again, you can see little things kind of happening over and over. What I like flying. I like adrenaline-y. That would be such a weird niche experience. I feel like not everybody knows how to fly right, and not everybody has that ability to be in control.
I mean, I've seen you fly in 7 Days to Die.
Oh yeah, but that's some crazy shit.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that. We would definitely die if it was a video game, because my bitch ass would be like, we're going for a flip, let's go.
Oh, you should. Have you tried flying in GTA 5?
Oh yeah, that shit's hard. That is
That's what she said.
hardest thing that I've ever tried to do in my life.
I mean, I got the hang of stuff, but swimming is the worst in GTA. So it's S to swim up and W to swim down. Like, why? I think it's a little bit easier on controller, I reckon. It's been a really long while that I haven't used or played GTA. Well, used the controller or played GTA on console, but I really need to go back to that. I hope they don't delete my account, because I think it's been like more than 6 months. I don't know, we'll see.
Right? Or like how sometimes when we have to climb up ladders in games, how you have
Yeah.
to press control, the crouch button. I'm like, what the fuck? This makes no sense. None
I
at
know,
all.
right?
If you had the chance to switch lives with one celebrity from today for one day, who would you pick and why?
Lady Gaga, because I love her, and I feel like that would be just the most wonderful experience to see a day in the life of Lady Gaga.
Oh, you're gonna love mine. I've said it a lot before, but I did choose Kim Kardashian, even though I hate them so much, and for 3 reasons.
Because
Well, then you would find all the secrets that we know she keeps. Come on now.
that's the first reason.
See what goes on behind the scenes for a day. Probably try and send some of her fortune to my family, like some of her money. And the third reason, I wanna get to call her sisters names, like use words on them, such as bitches.
I mean, all of this is true. So I'm down for it. If we can figure out how to make this happen, definitely down.
Oh yeah, with the surge of AI, I think almost everything is possible. If you had an alter ego, what would they be named and what would they do?
Well, you know how crazy I am. I've always said that my alter ego's name was Letitia, and she's a crazy bitch. Okay, you think that I'm kind of a little crazy? I know I am, but like, she's even more crazy, like 5150. She probably wears a straitjacket for fun. And, you know, she does some outrageously landish shit. So, yes, Letitia is most likely gonna come out if you ever get me drunk, but that's okay.
I mean,
We'll have fun.
mine would be the opposite of who I am.
I do have both good and evil in me, and I try to use my evil for good deeds specifically, like such as, for example, like if I see someone being harassed, bullied, if I see a situation where I need to be evil or use my evil against evil itself, that's where it comes in play. that's where I can use it. That's what I'd rather use it. Or sometimes in video games if I have to as well. As long as it's not harming like real people. But when it comes down, or if it comes down to things, I think it would be the opposite for my alter ego. He'd use his evil almost all the time.
I love that.
One of his cons is that he gets some fur balls sometimes, like spit out fur balls like a cat.
That would be like your bitch slap as your alter ego is I'm gonna barf a fur ball on you and I hope you trip and die.
Why do I feel like I'm describing Puss in Boots?
Insert death whistle here.
Feed me, if you dare.
I'll just make sure I have catnip in my pocket at all times. Hello.
Okay, these are some food-related questions. What's your all-time favorite drink?
Okay, so I can do both. If I had to choose a drink, I really do enjoy a dark soda. So like Pepsi and Coke. I am a die-hard Pepsi fan, but I will take Coca-Cola when the need is. And then if I had a drink, I am a firm beer drinker. So like any IPAs, Indian Pale Ales. I do like local brews because I like to see what they use that's from that climate or from that area. Because it's kind of cultural for me, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's a piece of them at that time in their creation.
Weirdest thing you've ever tasted?
I've eaten freeze-dried bugs before, so like mealworms and crickets.
Oh my god.
Believe it or not, they just tasted like nuts. And not like
That's nuts.
the nut sack. Like roasted peanuts. Because I'm allergic to nuts.
Mine would be octopus, to be honest.
Now, did you do what I've seen in the Japanese culture where they like do the live octopus and then they put it like in the
hell no.
I would be scared that the little tentacles were gonna kill me, like suffocate me inside my throat.
So my cousin likes to experiment with her food, and she one time used instead of like making actual curry, she just used the sauce and the spices, and she mixed them together with the rice. So the rice is yellow. And instead of like putting chicken and mushrooms and those, she put small baby octopuses in there. And so I was taking them out, but then when I just looked next to me, I saw Dad handing me a plate. He said like, take it. I told him like, did you remove all the octopus? He's like, well, I tried, but that's fine. Try it. Maybe you'll love it. So I ate a bite and I was like, why is it in my mouth and why is it tasty? It kind of tasted like shrimp, to be honest.
But that's interesting because I've never heard somebody equate it to tasting like shrimp because I can't eat shellfish. So maybe one time in my life I will try octopus and see what shellfish actually tastes like.
I love shrimp, but I would never go back to octopus, even if it's the last thing on this planet. You know, even if it's the last source of like food on the planet.
Yeah, or some weird vegetarianism.
Favorite comfort food of all time?
Favorite comfort food is specifically my mom's enchiladas. Because, you know, mother's meals always hit differently, right? But, like, when she makes this meal, it normally is, like, a celebration meal, like, for my birthday or something like that. So it just always hits in all the areas, even, like, the nostalgic, like, happy feeling areas. So, my mom's enchiladas.
Okay, so I added a fun little mini game before we move on to the mental health segment. It's a game similar to Kill, Marry, Sleep With.
Yes.
In this mini game, I'll give you a set of 3 games each time. You're gonna have to pick which one you'd play, which one you'd uninstall, and which one you'd delete. By play, I mean keep forever. Uninstall, play one time for a little bit, then uninstall it, or all the way through. And delete, it's like gone forever. That also includes the whole franchise. You have 2 jokers, by the way, that allow you to either keep all 3 or delete all 3. You cannot uninstall or keep or delete 2 and keep 1, and etc. You know what I meant. You can also skip if you blank out.
Okay.
Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Battlefield.
As much as I hate Call of Duty, I guess I would play it. I would probably delete Counter-Strike, probably uninstall Battlefield.
Apex, Fortnite, Valorant.
Uninstall Apex, play Fortnite, and delete Valiant.
PUBG, Overwatch, and Halo.
Play Halo, uninstall PUBG, and delete Overwatch 2.
Quake, Doom, The Elder Scrolls series.
Okay, play the Elder Scrolls, uninstall Doom. I've never heard of Quake before, so it's gonna be deleted, sorry.
Lethal Company, Content Warning, Among Us.
Oh, okay. I've only played one of these games, but I've watched all of them. So I'm gonna say that I would play Lethal Company because I do love that. I would probably uninstall Content Warning, and even though I love Among Us, I would delete it.
Baldur's Gate, Elden Ring, Diablo.
Ugh, these are just getting harder and harder.
Remember that you have jokers.
I know. I'm just looking down at the list though. There's, I might want to save those.
Okay.
Let's do play Baldur's Gate because that's one of my games that it's on my wish list. Uninstall Diablo because that's another game that I've always wanted to play. And then unfortunately delete Elden Ring.
Valheim, Stardew Valley, and Minecraft.
So I've always wanted to play Stardew, so I'm gonna say play Stardew, delete Minecraft, and uninstall Valheim.
The Sims, Disney Dreamlight Valley, and Palia.
So Disney Dreamlight Valley, because Disney girl, I'd play. Sims, I would uninstall, and I don't know anything about Palia, so sorry, but you're bye-bye.
So now we're gonna go into the horror aspect of the games with Phasmophobia, Demonologist, and Devour.
So I would probably play Phasmo because it's kind of similar to that one game that we play together. And
Backrooms?
Demonologist, the Backrooms,
Yeah.
but no, the other one's the, what was that game called?
I know which one you probably mean. Is it the one where you are in like sort of like a crazy house and then there's a monster and a few monsters that chase you, but one big guy that you need to hide in a locker to avoid sometimes?
No, it's the Forewarned.
Oh yeah, Forewarned. It's like Phasmo but in Egypt and with mummies.
Yes, exactly. Demonologist, kind of similar, so I'd uninstall, and I don't know anything about Devar, so we're gonna delete that one.
Okay, so Destiny 2, Dead Space, Mass Effect.
I've always wanted to play Destiny 2, so play uninstall Dead Space, even though that's a fantastic game. And again, don't know anything about Mass Effect, so delete.
Okay, so Five Nights at Freddy's, Madison, and Visage.
Okay, play Five Nights at Freddy's. That shit's terrifying, and I'm all for it. And all three of, actually, I'm gonna use one of my jokers. I'm gonna keep all of those.
First Joker used.
Because
Alright.
I enjoyed watching him play Madison and Visage. But I don't know if I could play it myself, but we're gonna save them all.
So Dead Island, Left 4 Dead, and Dying Light.
Play Left 4 Dead because that's, again, OG, really good one. Dying Light I would delete, and Dead Island I would uninstall.
Don't Starve Together, The Forest, and The Quarry.
Okay, so this may be controversial, but I would delete The Quarry. I do love that game, just I don't know if I could play what I call those. It's like a chapter read books, like pick your chapter, get your
choice-based?
ending. Yeah, I like them. I love watching them for streamers, but I wouldn't play it. Left 4 Dead I would play. No, sorry. Don't Starve Together I would play and uninstall before I start.
The Alan Wake series, Resident Evil, and The Evil Within.
Resident Evil hardcore fan, play Evil Within. I would probably uninstall in Alan Wake. I'm sorry, don't know you, but delete.
Dead Rising, Mortuary Assistant, and The Walking Dead.
So I love The Walking Dead and I love Mortuary Assistant. But I think if I were to play a game, I would play The Walking Dead. I would uninstall the Mortuary and I would delete Dead Rising.
Dead by Daylight, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the video game.
This is definitely not a genre that I am able to play.
You can always
But
pass.
if-
You can always pass.
I do love, though, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So I'd play that one. Texas, I would probably delete because that one just reminded me of Dead by Daylight, which I tend to go for the originals anyway, so I would uninstall Dead by Daylight. Yeah, and delete the other one.
Project Zomboid, 7 Days to Die, and The Last of Us.
I would say that I would, because I love playing The Last of Us, but I'm literally stuck in one part of the game because I'm too scaredy cat to like go through it. So I would uninstall The Last of Us. I would play 7 Days to Die, and even though Project Zomboid looks really fucking fun, I would have to say I would delete it.
I have Project Zomboid downloaded and I'm thinking of trying it, honestly.
You should. I mean, I've watched some good gameplay, but again, out of those 3 games, I couldn't delete the other ones.
So Little Nightmares, the Alien series, and Silent Hills.
Oh, okay. Don't hate me. I love the Little Nightmares, so I would play them. The only reason why I would say I would uninstall Silent Hill is because I can't play those games. Too scary. But I love
agree.
it. I love watching. And then also the Alien series, that's a good series too. So unfortunately though, in the hierarchy, it would be deleted.
Cyberpunk, GTA, Saints Row.
Play GTA. I think I would uninstall Cyberpunk, but I would delete Saint Row.
It Takes Two, Fall Guys, and Party Animals.
I like the shenanigans we can get up to in Party Animals, and It Takes Two, and Fall Guys. But I would probably play Party Animals. I would probably delete It Takes Two and uninstall Fall Guys.
Assassin's Creed, Uncharted, and the Tomb Raider series.
So, I don't know about you, but I've been a Tomb Raider fan ever since it came out on the PS2 or PS1. But those games are harder than shit to play. And Assassin's Creed I fucking love. So, I just never got into Uncharted. I know I would love it, but I just never played it. So, I'd delete Uncharted. I would uninstall Tomb Raider for the rage quitting, and then definitely play Assassin's Creed.
And the final ones are Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, and Genshin Impact.
As you already know, this is what I was saving my last Joker for. We're saving all of those babies because I play them all the time.
Okay, so this is the mental health segment. In this segment, we'll be talking about a mental health topic or a life experience subject, and some of them might be sensitive. So I apologize in advance for any heavy or triggering terms that might be used. Mental health is not an easy subject to talk about. Today we're going to talk about how mental health affects your daily life. So I'm going to say this again. Some subjects might seem triggering or heavy, not necessarily in this episode. So be well aware as you listen, and feel free to either skip or dip out on this segment in any episode if you feel uncomfortable about some subjects. This also applies to future episodes. So listen at your own risk. Dev, go ahead. Segment's all yours. I'm going to be more of a listener this time.
Okay, so fill in a little backstory. What I've been dealing with recently is I have 4 siblings, and one of my siblings is currently dealing with her own struggle with substance abuse. And she unfortunately has 2 little twins that are in her care. And given the fact that recently she fell onto some hard times, those twins are now in the process of coming to live with myself and my mom over at our house, because her addiction is kind of taking its toll on her as a whole. So I guess mostly why I wanted to talk about this is that I know it's a struggle for a lot of people. And I mean, I do it too. I mean, even when I say that I'm like addicted to my nicotine pens, or, you know, even somewhat addicted to weed, because that can be a little dicey subject for some people. I feel like it's prevalent even in non-substances that we do, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I do ultimately, given the circumstances, want people to know that, you know, it's not your only option. And yes, things can get hard, but you can always find your way out of these problems with any solution that you deem necessary. And it's always okay to ask for help. And, you know, it always does start with you trying to be honest with oneself first, because if you don't have a problem, then there's no way of fixing it. But yeah, ultimately, I just, you know, I know people struggle, and I hope, again, that sharing some of my instances, because addictions in my family run from generation to generation, as do like a lot of people, right? But you know, it's okay to reach out to your loved ones and your dear ones and just ask for help before it's too late, when you get into these situations where, you know, especially with children, the state comes in and takes them, and, you know, they're not in the loving arms, not that they're being, you know, abused and used, but, you know, they're not in with family or with their moms and their dads, you know. It's definitely difficult, and I wouldn't want anybody to really go through that, in a sense.
This might be a little stupid for a question, but what's the difference between drug addiction and drinking addiction? I know there's a difference.
There is. In my own opinion, I know that that most people who turn to a drug addiction tend to want to escape reality, in a sense, where that does happen with alcohol, but a lot of people use alcohol as a crutch, in a sense where, again, I'm not meaning this in a demoralizing or a negative standpoint, but like how I use weed to get myself through the day. Some people use alcohol to bring out what they deem as their best personality, or, you know, feel comfortable in their skin or their body or their situation. Just being able to recognize when it goes too far is a good thing, at least for me. You know, you got to be able to have your limits, know when you're passing those limits, and itself. So I guess my answer is, for what I see with people with drugs is they're trying to escape reality, when people with alcohol, sometimes they're trying to enhance their reality at that moment in that time.
Before I let you go, Dev, is there anything you'd like to add?
I mean, you know me. I always like to end it. Again, we're talking about some serious stuff, but I do like to end it with some positivity and just knowing that no matter where you are, given your situation, your circumstances, your whatever, you are beautiful, you are enough, you are wonderful, and someone out there is going to see your light, even if it's dim, and help it burn brighter, okay? We are not alone. We are here together. We are here as a community. We are here as friends and lovers sometimes.
Yep.
But, you know, coming together and you know, being there for others is a big thing for me. So just know you are enough. You are not alone. And we love you dearly. Everybody listening.
Oh, by the way, I remembered which sound I was referencing in the beginning. This one.
I did think of you when I bought it, and I'll think of you when it comes out of my asshole later.
What's the story behind it?
Okay, well, were you there when that was actually came to fruition? What it's all about and everything?
I don't know.
I don't think I was, or I don't think it was during my time. I started being regularly there since like around Christmas 2023.
Well, I feel like that was either right before that time or around that same time zone. But basically, we like to troll JoJo, aka Fruit Pounder, aka Comrade, and he really fucking loves Taco Bell. And on this day, we were playing a game together, and I literally left to go get food and came back, and JoJo was there. I literally bought Taco Bell thinking about him, and then like my imagination or my thought made him come into reality. And I came back into chat and I was like, you know what? I'm eating this Taco Bell, and just so you know, I'm gonna think of you while I eat it, and then I'm gonna think of you while it comes out of my asshole.
And there you have it, guys. You heard it here first.
Yep. You heard it live.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here's a funny story I'm gonna share with you. So my friend works at an Arabic restaurant, and they have like hookahs or shishas or hubble bubble, however you want to call them, or whichever one you prefer. And there's we have the several flavors, but two of the main are lemon and mint, and 2 apples. So one time when my friend was working there and I was also just chilling with my other friends, a woman approaches and she orders one that's 2 apple flavors. And then my friend asks her, red or yellow? She went to ask her, that woman that was ordering went back to where her boyfriend was sitting to ask him, and then she came back and said red. And we laughed so hard because you might not know what I'm talking about, but it's not how the flavor goes. It's called this way, just doesn't have to be you can't choose yellow or red or green. But the reaction or the face my friend made afterwards was so priceless.
And then it's just perpetual because even her boss or whoever she asked was like, it's green.
Oh yeah, I remember that one time at Starbucks, probably the same year as the other story. So there was this one guy that was ordering a drink, and he seemed lost and kind of doesn't know what he wanted to order. So when he finally decided and told the barista asked him for his name, and that guy said Kivan. Seeing the panic in the barista's eyes, not knowing how to write it, was so funny. And then the guy spelled it out for him, Keevan. Not Kevin, not Kevin, Kivan. So I had a conversation with that guy, and it turns out his mom is from the Philippines. Then she moved to the US as a teenager, and his dad was born here in Lebanon, and he moved to the US during the civil war that we had here in the 70s. So they both met each other, his parents, and they fell in love. And funny enough, that guy was born here in Lebanon. So his mom loved foreign series. We have here a trend that our TV stations dubbed versions of Turkish series, but they're dubbed in Arabic. So she picked up on that since they were like living here the last few years, as he told me. And she heard the name Kivans, because there's a famous actor there in Turkey called Kivans. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. She was like, well, let's shorten it to Kivan. And they decided on that. And yeah, that's basically how it went, because it was like really funny. And same thing later on, I think not during the pandemic, but like at the end of 2019, I also remember that one of my friends, she was working at Costa. Costa is kind of like Starbucks before it closed, because it closed down during the pandemic here. So we had only one Costa place. It's like a coffee shop, as I said, similar to Starbucks. And they also write names there as well. I told her, like, just write whatever you want. And because they always either write a message there or your name. So she knew me because she's my friend. And she drew something. She filled the cup with like a frappuccino mixed with cream and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And when she gave it to me, I started laughing so hard. It was a dick. She drew a penis on my cup. And if the cup wasn't styrofoam, I probably would have kept it till this day.
Apparently you need like a camera crew following you around to make these like viral videos, because that Stefan video would probably have been funnier than fucking shit.
Yeah,
if you had like the whole entire thing.
I know.
And then the apples too. Like, exactly.
Thank you so much, Dev, for being a guest. It was so much fun. Guys, go check Dev out. And I know she doesn't stream yet, but she might one day. This way you'd be there when it finally happens.
You never know. One day that live feed might just happen and you'll just be there for the good times and the chaos, my friends.
Also, one more thing. Whom else do you mod for?
Blurry Almond, we've got Gun Guy 505, and we've got Secure Lupus, and of course, as they said before, Zombie Romeo, Cooge, and Hamma Pants. Yep. And also, just to segue off of that, don't forget, if you're not on Twitch and not already following Blue, to do that as well, because he's fucking brilliant, funny as fuck, and entertaining to say the least.
You listen, you little bitch.
And I do want to say thank you, Blue, for having me on here. It's been an honor.
Think about it. Now, since I have 7 Days to Die, we can finally have a 1v1, Dragonstar and I, because the other day I kept trolling. I always do that during those streams when Hamma plays 7 Days to Die. I always spawn stuff, help or hinder. So when I kept trolling, and he kept thanking everyone else but me, so I was like, I'm trying to be nice. Would you just say thank you even after I trolled a lot? And we laughed so hard about it. Then he started saying like, yeah.
Oh, well then that means that we're gonna have to build an arena for our 1v1s, and we'll just get it all down, because sometimes we all need to just go and have a little de-stress chaos, I guess is the best way to put it.
I also wouldn't mind it if he has time and wants to before joining us and gaming, maybe using the extension and spawning stuff on me. I wouldn't mind that. I know at the time of like this episode being released, it's all like been done already, so
there we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
The funniest part of all this is honestly Dev's reactions that are seen in some, if not most, of Hamma's clips. Also, speaking of moments, I also remember Hamma arguing with Blurry, and then him ending up telling her, shut up, you whore. That was so hilarious.
That's
Just to stem off of that, one of my favorite all-time clips, and I was so thankful that I was actually watching and seeing his little screen, because you know how your guys' face are semi small sometimes. But he was literally sign languaging to Blurry that she's a fucking dirty twat waffle. And I, out of the blue, was like, did you just call Blurry a fucking twat waffle? And he was like, how do you fucking know? I will have to send you the video because I sent it to him too, and that's how he knew how to do it.
I'm gonna use that.
I'm gonna use that next time on Stream Loots. The cards, there's one card on Stream Loot that makes Hama change all the swear words into one word for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I think. So I'm gonna use twat waffle as a word.
Exactly.
So thank you for all the good times and the good laughter.
In the future, good times and good laughs, my friends. We're always here.
It was honestly my pleasure and it was so much fun. I really don't want it to end, but sadly, we both have stuff and life to tend to. And honestly, of all the people I've met or gamed with, Dev is genuinely one of the funniest out there. And she's very chill, very down to earth. Thank you again, Dev, for your time tonight. Go check her out. It's literally the episode handle, PD_Deveny. It's PD_DEVENEY. Give her a follow, check her out. One day she's gonna start streaming, and we're all gonna be there. So stay amazing, love each other, love yourselves, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.